Is huge, especially initially when the reports came out. You thought, man, this could be 4 to 6 weeks. What could it do to the Packers season? Jeremy, I remember you and I talked about it. We're like, you just got to go 500 when you lose your starting quarterback. To go 2-0 and to get him back sooner than expected, this is huge news for the Packers. And I think this will infuse some life in the organization, which has got to be feeling really good about where they stand right now in the NFL. Everybody has picked up their game, and they got some really solid play out of Malik Willis. So this is great news for Packers fans. I think this is great. It's great for the NFL because I do think Jordan Love is one of the young faces of the league that's going to be playing here for a long time. Just signed the contract. I think this is awesome.
Given what we saw from Malik Willis and the fact that he did go 2-0 and the offense looked decent with him in it, obviously.
Are you stirring up quarterback controversy?
A reliance on the run. Josh Jacobs obviously a big part of things, but what I'm trying to say is, do you think Malik Willis still plays a part in this? Maybe as a kind of a spell quarterback at times.
I doubt it. I don't know if Matt LaFleur is going to want to do that, but it probably is an option. Maybe they sprinkle it in there. We've seen other quarterbacks before that are as mobile and athletic as Malik Willis is, and wildcat packages, short yarded situation, and then that debate always crops up. Well, do you want to take Jordan Love off the field? That'll be a decision they'll probably have to make, but I think the best part about this is now you have some depth at the position. Malik Willis looked like his career potentially was going off the rails when he started in Tennessee, was given the option with the Titans, and I think this is a prime example of where so many quarterbacks, we want to judge their success or failure by how they play on the field, when a lot of times it is about the surroundings, about the supporting cast, the coaching you receive and the development you receive, and it is a tribute to Matt LaFleur, who's done a phenomenal job with all the quarterbacks that he's coached, and getting the most out of Malik Willis, I think, is really a testament to him, and it's great to see a young quarterback who a lot of people had written off get an opportunity and make the most of it.
Minnesota Vikings come in as one of 5 undefeated teams in the NFL, sitting at 3-0. Packers there at 2-1. So when you look at Minnesota in this matchup, does this alter things, the way they set themselves up defensively, taking on Jordan Love versus taking on Malik Willis?
Yes, I mean, I think clearly because of what you mentioned, Malik Willis, and the way they were running the ball with Josh Jacobs, I think they'll be more prepared for a more balanced attack and be ready for that passing game to really sort of develop and evolve. So that's what I think Minnesota will do. But I don't think anything will change for them offensively. And speaking of quarterbacks that we're looking at, Sam Darnold's taking advantage of the opportunity there with the Vikings.
Yeah.
This is a traditional NFC North rivalry game that I don't think a lot of people thought we would have these two teams where they are, especially the Vikings sitting there at undefeated. No one saw that coming. It's going to be a fun matchup.
Yep. Following the breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, Jordan Love is expected.
Updated Saturday headlines in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins are starting quarterback Tyler Snoop Huntley on Monday night against the Titans. Skylar Thompson, who started last week's loss to the Seahawks, is currently dealing with a rib injury. The Fins signed Huntley to their practice squad 2 weeks ago and have since elevated him to the 53-man roster, with Tua Tagovailoa sidelined with a concussion. Over to Detroit, where the Lions head coach Dan Campbell says he expects Sam Laporta to play on Monday against the Seahawks. The All-Pro tight end suffered a sprained ankle during last week's win against the Cardinals, but should be good to go. Laporta ranks 3rd on the Lions this season in both catches and receiving yards. And the Raiders will be without Davante Adams and Max Crosby for Sunday's game against the Browns. Adams is dealing with a hamstring injury while Crosby hurt his ankle. This will be the first game that Crosby misses in his 6-year career with the Raiders. Here's a look at some other notable injury reports heading into the weekend. A number of players already ruled out, including Cooper Kupp, Tank Dell, Trey McBride, and Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown, meanwhile, is questionable, as is Jordan Love, Joe Mixon, and Deebo Samuel.
And down in the NFL, where quarterback Tyler Snoop Huntley will get the start for the Dolphins on Monday night against the Titans. Skylar Thompson, who started last week in the loss to the Seahawks, is currently dealing with a rib injury. The Fins signed Huntley to their practice squad 2 weeks ago and have since elevated him to the 53-man roster, with Tua Tagovailoa sidelined with a concussion. Miami is looking to get back on track after losing back-to-back games to the Bills and the Seahawks. As we take a look at The Dolphins, with and without Tua Tagovailoa here, Danny, since 2022, not great without him.
No, there's a massive drop-off, and I know there's some Tua haters when he got his new contract, and that's pretty good evidence of what he brings to this team. This is a rough spot for Mike McDaniel to be in. You're seeing a drop-off already with Skylar Thompson last week. Tyler Huntley's still
on set. For more on how much a win could really bolster either team's postseason resume, let's go ahead and welcome back to the show Sportsline analyst Mackenzie Brooks. Mackenzie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we've been pretty high on this Penn State team since preseason, one of our playoff darlings here. So we're higher on them and Illinois than most odds makers here, but it's still the same ratio of Illinois to Penn State. A win for Penn State moves them up closer to 80%. Now, it's not a massive jump because they are supposed to win this game, 17.5-point favorites here, but a loss would put them under that 50% mark. So right now they sit around minus 190 to make the playoffs, getting close to a little too expensive to play, but this could go to around minus 280 after this game if they pull off the win. So if you're looking to get in a playoff ticket for Penn State, I would certainly do it today. Again, Illinois, they go down to 4.7, virtually nothing if they lose this game. So they are fighting for their playoff hopes today.
Cardell, the pursuit for a Big Ten title and, of course, the chase for the college football playoff continues for both teams. But while Penn State is the deserved favorite in this one, do you think it's going to be a closer game than you think?
Yeah, I think it's a closer game than people think, but I'm going to take Illinois in this one. I mean, Illinois is playing really good, and I think so far, if you stack their resume against everyone else's, I think they got one of the most impressive resumes out there so far. Already 2 ranked wins, 1 on the road versus really good Nebraska team. They're protecting the football, playing great defense, and Luke Altmaier has 10 touchdowns, no turnovers. That is huge for this point in the season. They're taking care of business. They don't have your traditional kind of cakewalk schedule that you see from the bigger programs the first 3 to 4 weeks. Like I said before, they played 2 ranked opponents, 1 on the road, and came out victorious on both of those. So I wouldn't be surprised that Illinois go in here and win this game. When you have a team that plays complete 4-quarter football like Illinois do, don't make stupid mistakes, and protect the football, it's hard to beat them.
So you're saying Illinois wins the game?
I got Illinois.
Woo, that's a big upset. It does happen.
That's not been impressive.
Right. They haven't.
Not been impressive
and they're one. So here's one thing you did that bothered me. You said they beat 2 top 25 teams. Kansas, who was top 25, they're 1-3, but they're 1-3 now.
Well, they gave them their first loss.
They set them off. They set them downhill.
I hear nothing wrong.
So I like Penn State in this game. I think they're the better team. Illinois is a great story. Brett Bielema was probably one of the more underrated coaches in college football, but this to me comes about the talent across the board, and I think that's where Penn State has a significant edge. The one thing too, and I don't know if you ever faced this playing teams like certain teams you struggled against, Luke Altmaier's been awesome this year. Last year in this game he had 0 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Oh my goodness.
But across the board he's playing a lot better. He has to clean those up or else it's going to be another long day for him. I think they're going to try to run the football a little bit more. Another edge too, Penn State's offensive coordinator Andy Colton-Nicky was at Kansas last year and beat Illinois, so he's played against this team, this scheme, this front, so he knows them pretty well. So I think Penn State's going to win this game pretty handily.
I think Penn State might be the more talented team, but based on the way this Illinois team plays, I don't know that Penn State is the better team because to Cardell's point, they don't turn the ball over. They play exceptionally on defense. They're one of the top teams in the country as far as takeaways. They blitz at a high rate, and it's not, they don't just send guys for no reason. They're effective with their blitzes. So the way that they play, the style of play, Luke Altmaier being on a much different level than he was last year, I would argue to say that Illinois might be the better team when it comes to composition, how they play, how they take care of games, how they handle their business. Again, Penn State is absolutely the more talented team. So to me, the matchup is really the foundation of Illinois, the way that their team plays versus the talent of Penn State. Can the talent supersede the level of consistency, the level of execution that Illinois plays with on the offensive and defensive side of the ball?
All right, let's get some game picks. Cardell already let us know, okay? All right, Mackenzie, Penn State favorite. He did. I love it, though. You were excited. Penn State favorite at home, 17.5, points set at 48.5. But do you think Illinois is capable of keeping this game within the 17.5 spread? Where are you leaning here?
Not really. We don't love Illinois in this game. Again, we've been so high on Penn State. The model just loves Drew Aller. They love the metrics here. So we do have some value on the spread. To me, the better play is the over on the full game. And a lot of that stems from this Penn State team total going over 37. But then I'm looking at Illinois. I understand we have a 16 here. But they're coming off back-to-back 30-point games. They're going from 24 points per game to 28 points per game this season. So I don't exactly want to fade this Illinois offense. I think the best play to encapsulate everything that we want is just take the full game over.
Damian? You got it this one.
Illinois.
Oh,
Illinois. Why?
let's do
Because
it.
I
All right,
love